I stand before the gates of God's Bible School and College, Cincinnati, and I whisper the tale of my own ruin. I describe each wound in such detail that any listener may see the scar and understand why it cuts deep. The curriculum arrives like a relic from an age that never learned to speak to modern ministry. The texts are dusty, the lessons repeat doctrines that ignore the pulse of today. When a student seeks relevance, the school offers only antiquated sermons. This is bad because a mind that cannot grow is forced to wither, and a future minister who cannot address current suffering will fail those who need help. Financial aid becomes a maze of errors. Each month I receive notices that contradict the previous one, numbers shift without explanation, and the staff answer my pleas with empty gestures. The constant miscalculations drain my peace and create anxiety that disrupts study. When money is mismanaged, a student must choose between hunger and textbooks, and that choice destroys the promise of an education. The campus itself bears the weight of neglect. Paint flakes from the walls like dead skin, windows are cracked and allow cold drafts that whisper through the corridors. The hallway floor is stained with watermarks that have not been mopped for seasons. Such decay is not merely aesthetic, it signals that those who manage the institution do not respect the bodies that inhabit it. A tired environment saps motivation and invites illness. Dormitories resemble abandoned cellars. The carpets are permanently damp, the springs in the beds creak like old bones, and the lights flicker at night. The air smells of stale detergent and something sour that lingers in the corners. A student who cannot rest in a safe shelter becomes exhausted, irritable, and unable to concentrate on study. Lack of repair, therefore, becomes a theft of sleep and sanity. The atmosphere is wrapped in judgmental cold. Conversations are monitored for deviation, and any viewpoint that strays from the prescribed creed is met with silence or scorn. This intolerance is harmful because it teaches fear instead of faith, and it drives compassionate hearts away. When a community does not accept diversity, it isolates the individual and erodes the common bond that should nourish growth. Professors appear unprepared, their lectures filled with vague platitudes and no practical examples. They speak as if they have never stepped beyond the lecture hall, and they lack experience in real ministry. A student who learns only theory without practice cannot serve effectively, and the tuition paid becomes a hollow promise. Administration refuses to answer questions. Emails return with generic statements, phone calls are placed on hold for hours, and concerns are dismissed as trivial. This unresponsiveness signals a hierarchy that values appearance over genuine care. When leaders ignore problems, those problems multiply, and the entire institution crumbles under its own neglect. The so-called community feels forced and cliquey. Meals are scheduled for groups that already know each other, leaving newcomers to eat alone at empty tables. Invitations are whispered behind doors, and genuine friendship is replaced by superficial politeness. A forced community breeds loneliness, and loneliness erodes the spirit of any pilgrim seeking fellowship. Theology is pressed upon me like a heavy mantle. I am reminded constantly that I must adopt a specific belief, even when my heart whispers otherwise. Pressure to conform stifles personal conviction and reduces faith to a uniform. When the mind is not allowed to wander, belief becomes hollow and the soul feels trapped. Cafeteria food arrives cold, soggy, and overpriced. The soup tastes of stale broth, the bread is dry and crumbly, and the vegetables are wilted and limp. The aroma is faint and uninviting, and the plates are presented without garnish. Such sustenance fails to nourish the body or the spirit, and the excessive price feels like a they.
FD, a poor diet weakens concentration and morale, turning each meal into a reminder of neglect. Counseling services consist of brief conversations with staff who lack proper training. They listen without empathy, offer generic advice, and never follow up. When a student seeks help for anxiety, the response is a brief reassurance that does not address the underlying cause. Inadequate counseling leaves wounds untreated, allowing sorrow to deepen and hope to fade. All these failures cascade into a single crushing realization: my tuition has been spent on a promise that never materialized. Each broken promise adds a layer of disappointment, and each layer builds a wall that separates me from the future I imagined. Do you see how each flaw is not merely a small inconvenience, but a fundamental breach of trust?
I am looking into crimes near God's Bible School and College, Cincinnati, because I want you to know what can happen during a short 2-week visit. Businesses near God's Bible School and College, Cincinnati, are often small family-run shops. street market stalls and modest grocery stores that try to attract tourists with friendly smiles. Unfortunately, some of them hide illegal activities behind the welcome sign. The first case involved several grocery stores in the Forest Park and Clifton area. The owners were accused of running illegal gambling rooms in back rooms that only people from a specific community could enter. They also misused government assistance programs and performed telephone fraud. A tourist who stopped for a quick snack could have been invited to a special discount after showing a receipt, only to be asked to play a game that required cash. After the scam, the victim probably left the store feeling confused, reported the incident to the police, and tried to get a refund that never arrived. The owners are likely to face court charges, and the store may be closed, leaving the neighborhood with fewer options for food shoppers. The second incident was a chaotic Facebook marketplace scam captured on video in Clifton. A buyer was convinced to meet the seller at a downtown boutique, where the seller pretended to have the item in stock, but then disappeared with the cash. The tourist probably chased the seller, called the police, and learned that the shop had been used as a front for multiple frauds. The seller will likely be arrested, and the shop forced to shut down, making future visitors more cautious about street deals. The third story is about a man who used a real storefront to sell fake investment opportunities in Amazon online stores. He promised tourists that a small cash contribution would give them a share of a booming online business. After taking more than $1 million, the victims realized the store was a cover and they lost their money. The investors probably tried to contact the man, discovered he vanished, and filed complaints with authorities. He is now facing dozens of grand theft charges, and the physical shop will probably be seized, reducing the number of shady investment pitches near the college. These examples show that even in a friendly area around God's Bible School and college, Cincinnati, tourists can encounter deceitful practices that ruin a short stay.
Welcome to our travel advisory on the vicinity of God's Bible School and College in Cincinnati. Today, we embark on a journey through the local businesses that pepper the landscape around this esteemed institution. With a discerning eye and an ear to the ground, we've sifted through the whispers and shouts of customer experiences to bring you an unvarnished portrayal of what you might encounter. As we set the stage, imagine a tapestry of commerce woven with threads of expectation and reality. Here, in the shadow of God's Bible School and College, the businesses have a unique story to tell, one that speaks of aspirations and at times unfortunate shortcomings. Let's begin with Kenwood Town Center, a hub that promises a blend of retail and dining experiences. However, the reality seems to be a tale of missed marks and unmet expectations. Picture yourself ascending an escalator, only to find it moves at the pace of a sloth in siesta. You might overhear whispers of discontent from a patron expecting a swifter ascent, reminiscent of their luxury home's elevator. And should you dare to crave a coney smothered in chili, be prepared for a dish that might leave you hungering for more. The mall's security measures, with their canine companions trained to detect the unspeakable, seem to do little to comfort the uneasy shopper. Instead, they evoke a sense of unease, as if the presence of these vigilant hounds is a silent whisper of dangers lurking. And for those seeking the comfort of mechanical steeds, the lack of power scooters is a blow to accessibility, transforming what should be a leisurely stroll into an endurance test. As we turn our gaze to the Woodhouse Spa in Cincinnati, we find a sanctuary that promises tranquility and rejuvenation. Yet, the serene facade belies a world where the quest for relaxation is often met with cold indifference. Imagine the disappointment of a patron, their anticipation of a luxurious massage thwarted by a brusque reception, and a premature conclusion to their therapeutic session. It's a place where the art of customer service seems to have been forgotten, leaving one to ponder if the tranquility offered is but a fleeting illusion. Now, let us wander into Bridges Nepali cuisine, a culinary gateway to the heart of Nepal. Here, the promise of authentic flavors is often overshadowed by tales of neglect and oversight. Picture a table of eager diners, their anticipation for a taste of home or a new adventure met with indifference, their orders lost in the bustle of service. The momos, those dumplings of delight, may arrive not in a burst of flavor, but as a silent symphony of disappointment, their taste as muted as the color of the Himalayan sky. In the quaint confines of Urbana Cafe Pendleton, we encounter a coffee haven that beckons to the weary traveler and the studious scholar alike. Alas, the allure of caffeine and contemplation is dimmed by the absence of that modern necessity Wi-Fi. Here, the promise of connectivity is as elusive as the perfect cup of espresso, leaving patrons to wonder if their quest for a study spot is but a Sisyphean endeavor. Finally, we stroll past the windows of Idlewild Boutique, where the mannequins pose in silent judgment of the world outside. Within these walls, the seeker of sartorial splendor may find themselves navigating a labyrinth of unacknowledged presence, their existence as a customer unrecognized until the very